Hello, dear friends, and welcome to another special installment of our Reading Through the Bible plan of the Orange and Anaheim SDA churches in 2021. We are here in late January now, thanks to all who have been with us through the daily readings and the daily accompaniment videos. And I'm coming to you today because we are about to start a new book of the Bible. As you know, we have been reading through Ezra and Nehemiah, all those faithful people who came out of the Babylonian captivity to rebuild Jerusalem, rebuild the temple, rebuild God's place that he had promised to Moses and Joshua and all of these former patriarchs and heroes. But today's book, Esther, is about the group that stayed behind in the Persian kingdom. We talked about how it was a minority of Jews who came back to Israel. The majority stayed back in Persia. And does God forget? Does God abandon his people in Persia? The good news is no, he does not. There are incredible things in the book of Esther. It is a gripping book, and it's a unique book for a couple of ways. First of all, it's only one of two books in the Old Testament that is named after a woman. Esther and Ruth are the two that has a woman's namesake. We don't get any evidence that Esther herself wrote it. It was probably written a little bit after the fact by somebody else, but whoever wrote it had an intimate knowledge of the details. This is a well-crafted story with a gripping narrative and several interesting reversals of fortune. Whoever was writing this was a really wonderful author, and we're going to enjoy this over the next several days. Esther is also unique in that it is the only book of the Old Testament that does not mention God. Isn't that fascinating? How can you have a book of the Bible that doesn't mention God? It mentions the Israelites all throughout, the Jewish people, God's people, but God is not directly seen, talking, interacting, influencing. And so some people think, they actually almost think maybe this doesn't belong in the Bible. Interestingly, Esther is also one of the only books of the Bible that is not quoted or cited in the New Testament. But I beg to differ. I think the other thing. In fact, I remember a seminary professor saying, you need to look for God in the divine passive verbs of Esther. For example, there's one place where Esther's uncle Mordecai says, "Perhaps you have been brought to this place for such a time as this." So that phrase, "you have been brought," that's a passive verb. Who's doing the action if Esther is receiving that passive verb? There's none other than God that could have arranged it to be like this. So look for God in the divine passive. One commentary I was reading, it says it also challenges the reader to plug in where God is working in the narrative in which he's not overtly obvious. This is like our regular lives. We don't overtly see God much of the time like they apparently do in the Bible, and we have to discern where God is working. Now, while Esther is one of the few books that is not quoted or cited in the New Testament, we do have a secondary connection of the book of Esther in the New Testament. You may remember that in the book of John, there's a place where Jesus' brothers are saying to him, you need to go to Jerusalem, you need to go get famous, and this upcoming festival is a perfect time for you to do it. I believe it's John 7, perhaps John 8, but it's right around in there. And Jesus says, I am not going to this festival. Well, at the end, Jesus goes to the festival and he teaches there, and some more things happen that are pertinent to his ministry. And that festival is the Feast of Purim, which the book of Esther is about how that feast, yearly feast that the Jewish people did still celebrate in Jesus' time, how that feast got established. So let us put on our thinking caps and also enjoy the rich narrative as we go through the book of Esther here. Not terribly long book. I think it's only about 6 chapters long, so we'll be in it, 10 chapters long. We'll be in it a little bit more than a week. Hope you enjoy this, and I look forward to enjoying going through it and also having some daily commentary on it. Thanks to Pastor Nathaniel, who's also doing several of our accompaniment videos. And don't forget, in the comments section, you can ask any questions. Do our very best to respond within the same day there for you. We really want that to be a forum where people can discuss and ask as we journey through the Bible together. God bless you all, dear friends. Lovely to serve you and to know our Lord. Bye-bye.